beyond just the Gab and Jules show, we've had him do an end-of-season awards. These are Gab Marcotti's end-of-season weighted awards. Okay, now I could try to explain it, but the producer tried to explain it to me for 5 minutes, and I had no clue what was happening. So let's turn to the man who did it. Gab, walk us through not each of the awards, but the idea behind your weighted awards.
Well, the idea is real simple. Clubs all have different resources. We play the league. Whoever gets the most points wins it, and that's fine. But we're not stupid. Some of us remembers that, you know, these leagues are basically like a race where one guy's in a Ferrari and one guy's on a tricycle, right? The level of resources between teams is just so disparate. And so if we're going to reward achievement, for me, it's a bigger achievement for, say, the team with the bottom wage bill in a league, finishing mid-table, as Alaves have done in Spain, or as Heidenheim have done in the Bundesliga. To me, that's a much bigger achievement than, say, Paris Saint-Germain winning yet another title.
All right, let's go through them then. We'll start with the Premier League. Walk us through your, and I believe he's done this actually as, there we go, middleweight, featherweight, and flyweight. So we got some boxing in there. All right, Gab, give us your Premier League weighted award winners.
So the way I did this, the kind of the weight category I put it in, can be a little bit debatable. I looked at the wage bill or the budget of each side. In the case of Aston Villa, obviously they had the 6th highest this year. They finished 4th. You can call them middleweights. They might feel a little more than that. But the reality is there's still a really big gap between Aston Villa spending and that of Manchester City, United, Liverpool, and the other really big clubs. Bournemouth as well. They're down near the bottom. I think they were 13th or 14th. Here they are, punching way above their weight in mid-table. I did not give a flyweight award simply because, spoiler alert, the 3 teams at the bottom of the spending table are also the 3 teams that went down. I would probably give one to Luton because I thought they put up the biggest fight.
Thoughts? I was surprised Villa's wage bill was 6. I would have thought it was lower. The story of them finishing 4th, actually, to me, is less impressive since they have the 6th highest wage bill.
I agree. I thought there would be other clubs, Spurs, Newcastle, that would have been, I would have figured were higher than Villa. But credit to them. I still think they're the biggest surprise in the top 4 finishers, or dare I say, top 6 finishers in the Premier League.
What weight class do you think you are in boxing, Shaq?
Me?
Yeah. Where are you?
Today, not in peak.
Middle.
Okay, yeah.
Middle? Gives himself a compliment.
Middleweight-ish.
Yes.
Middle-ish?
Middle-ish, yeah.
So the middleweight in the Premier League was Aston Villa. The middleweight in Germany, I believe I have this right, is the team that ended up winning it all. Bayer Leverkusen, the champions, are your middleweight weighted award winner. Gab, explain that one. Oh, Gabby is so excited about his predictions that his internet died.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done with this.
I'll tell you what.
A classic.
Standing ovation to the internet.
He did mention Heidenheim. He did
by
mention
the internet.
So what do we think there? Bayer Leverkusen, 4th highest wage bill, but the champions. I think that makes sense.
And not just champions, a historic season. Unbeaten in their domestic campaign in both the league and the Pokal. And so there isn't a whole lot of argument for me against Bayer Leverkusen. And let me tell you, shout out to Heidenheim, who is Kay Murray's favorite team.
Oh, really? Why's that?
I don't know. She has a connection to Heidenheim somehow. She picked them early on in the season.
It's not U.S. international Leonard Maloney.
No, I don't think.
All right.
It's more so young Nicholas Beste than it is Leonard Maloney. But regardless, what I would say about a team like Heidenheim, it's easy to root for a team like Heidenheim because it's a little engine that could. And you just see guys that just work extremely hard for each other. A coach that is getting the very best out of their players, squeezing everything out of their group. And that's why they finished as high as they did in Bundesliga.
Mario, a word on you about Leverkusen's amazing campaign?
No, definitely. And also what we have to highlight, to keep your manager when your season is that great,
You know, like financially, we talked about them. You know, said that they spend maybe that level, but they're not touching what the Munich is touching and Bayern Munich is touching and all the other big ones. But I'm just saying, like, to keep your coach in your team, it's going to cost you some money, but also for him to stay there. So for them to be the fourth, I think they did a great job. But you guys already looked at the ones that lower than them. You know, like the Stuttgart. Okay, maybe it's a big club as well, but. Heidenheim, yeah, that is, you know, if you, I always say, like, what Gab said in the beginning, and I think that's very good. It's harder to spend less money and achieve great things than have a lot of money and spend. But even if you have a lot of money, I don't think it's going to be that easy for everybody. Because I sometimes had comments to, for example, a Munich side or a Pep Guardiola for that money. Even if you have the financial attributes, can you still manage to make a team out of it? Because some are really struggling with it. So I have to say also for the ones that have a lot of money, but also for the ones that don't have it, I think they do a great job, both sides.
Quick shout out to Stuttgart, who this time last year, they were fighting in the relegation playoff to stay up in Bundesliga. And the job that Seb Hannes has done with that team and that group of players, outstanding as well.
All right, Gab's internet has made a miraculous recovery just in time for us to turn our attention to La Liga's end-of-season weighted awards. You already mentioned Alaves there as your flyweight winner. What about featherweight and middleweight in Spain, Gab?
Athletic Bilbao, because they had the sixth highest wage bill. They ended up finishing fourth. There's just such a big gap between Barcelona, Real Madrid, I mean, Barcelona historically, obviously, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid, and everybody else. So you want to salute that. Obviously, Girona jumping from 12th place all the way to third. They've obviously finished even higher. That's even more of an achievement in their weight category, if you want. That does come with the little asterisk of all the expertise of the City Football Group as well. But still, it's the 12th highest budget in La Liga. Tremendous achievement.
All right, let's weigh in on all your expertise, Gab, of Italian football. Up next on our list, it's Serie A. You've got Atalanta at middleweight, Bologna at featherweight, Lecce at flyweight.
Actually slightly higher than people think, but nowhere near high enough to warrant finishing fourth and winning the Europa League and putting an end to that Bayer Leverkusen streak. It was actually the Atalanta coach, Gasperini, who inspired me to do this, because in the post-match after winning the Europa League, he said, you know, for us, this is as big a victory as for somebody else winning the Champions League or the treble or the World Cup, because it's relative to our resources. And then he rattled off all the teams in Europe that have, that have punched far above their weight, because he says just how absolutely unbalanced the playing field is. So they get my middleweight award. Bologna, no argument, one of the stories of the season, finishing fifth. Tremendous job there by Thiago Motta and the ownership in putting together that young team. And then a shout out to Lecce as well. I think the lowest or second lowest wage bill in the division, and they finished comfortably in mid-table.
All right, Gab, if there's a league with massive financial disparities, it would be the French top flight. So I'm particularly interested to see what you did here. Walk us through your choices in Ligue 1.
So again, middleweights, I went Lille. They had some hard time. Look, you can say it's not a huge jump forward because, again, I think they were 6th or 7th in terms of budget, and obviously they ended up finishing 4th. More interesting, I think, is what happened further down. Brest, again, 12th, 13th, 14th, in kind of that range. And here they are in Champions League territory. That is pretty amazing. And I think they're one of the stories of the season, as are, frankly, Toulouse, because second lowest wage bill in Ligue 1, and yet, boom, here they are finishing squarely in mid-table. Again, that's an achievement.
All right, great stuff, Gab. Great stuff, Mario. Gentlemen, don't go far. You will be called upon for extra time.